So I made a video about a year and a half ago letting you guys know 7 things you should not do at your Rolex AD. 7 things you shouldn't do at your Rolex authorized dealer or boutique so that you don't get disqualified and you could get that timepiece that you want. So I was sitting here thinking, I wonder if those 7 points still apply today. Do those 7 points still hold the same weight as it did back then? So guys, in today's video, I'm gonna go over those 7 points and let you guys know whether or not those same 7 points still apply today. Because back when I made that video, Rolex was a little bit different. Rolex was cocky, Rolex played hard to get, especially with that Rolex AD list. But now I think they're a little bit desperate, so it would be interesting to go over these 7 points to see which ones still hold the same amount of weight as they did back then and which one doesn't. Guys, before I get into this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, turn your notification on so you know whenever I post a video. And now let's get into it. So I looked over the 7 points that I mentioned in that previous video, guys, and some of the points really don't hold as much weight as it did back then. I'm just gonna let you guys know that right now. Back when I made this video, guys, Rolex was playing hard to get. Rolex wasn't desperate. They were tough. They were so heavily focused on that weight list, and most of us wasn't gonna get a timepiece if we walked into a Rolex AD or a Rolex boutique. Now, my first point in that video was to don't talk too much. So guys, number 1 is do not talk too much. The Rolex authorized dealer is almost like the police. Anything you say can be used against you in the court of the Rolex authorized dealer.
Ooh, he's snitching. Everybody, he's snitching. Hey, dude, get...
That means don't talk your way into looking like you can't afford a timepiece, or looking like you're gonna be a flipper, or that you're not serious about a timepiece. So my first point was just to avoid talking too much, have regular conversation, and if they like you, they would give you a timepiece. It's always that you could talk your way out of something, then talk your way into something. It's almost like dating. My second point in that video was to don't mention that you've sold a timepiece, a Rolex timepiece specifically, and maybe just a timepiece in general. Number 2, don't ever, and I mean ever, say that you've sold any one of your pieces, especially if it's a Rolex watch.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Because for some reason, the Rolex AD wants everyone to save and keep forever the timepieces that they buy, especially that they buy at the AD. They don't want anyone selling their timepieces. They want you to always have it forever, which doesn't make sense. It's not even logical. But anyways, it's like they know people sell their timepieces after they buy it or after a couple of years, but they just have this delusional mindset that people aren't gonna sell a Rolex watch. So therefore, don't come into the store and even have a conversation that you've sold a timepiece, or else we'll disqualify you. I don't know, crazy. Now, so far for these 2 points, they still hold some weight. Don't go in there and talk too much, and don't say that you've sold a timepiece. Trust me, especially if it's your first time visiting, don't say anything too crazy, and don't say you've sold a timepiece. My third point in that video was don't ask for that timepiece that you want. Number 3, if you walk in there, just do not ask for that watch that you want. That watch that you've been watching on YouTube, online, the one that you're in love with, do not ask for it. Just walk in there and have the AD tell you which watch you love and the watch that you should have on your wrist. That Rolex GMT, the Batman, the Pepsi, the Hulk. My point was to don't go in there and ask for that timepiece because you're not gonna get it. Now, this point doesn't hold the same amount of weight that it did back then. Today, guys, you can walk in there, pants sagging, baggy t-shirt, ripped holes in it. There's a good chance you'll get a timepiece, or at least get called within 3 months. I don't know. But this point definitely doesn't hold as much weight. You could get that timepiece that you want. You could get that Submariner. The Submariner that most people had to wait 5 years like me. I waited 5 years to receive a phone call from my Rolex AD.
Who do you think you are? We haven't heard a word from you in 5 years. 5 años.
And after receiving that call, you guys know I declined for a couple of reasons. You guys have that video. I'll probably link it down in the description so you guys can check it out. But anyways, don't ask for the watch you want. Doesn't hold that much weight anymore. You can get that watch you want. Just walk in there and ask for it. The next point was to don't say anything along the lines that you love sports models. Number 4, do not walk in there and say that you love sport models. You guys who know, you know.
And if you don't know, now you know.
That you're just going after the subs, the Daytonas. Don't say you just want the GMTs and all these sports models. No, because back then you wasn't going to get them. And automatically, I think the salesperson would be like, this person is just in it for the hype, or it's probably going to be a flipper. So this is not someone that's committed and serious about the Rolex brand. So that point, don't say you love sports models. I don't think it holds as much weight. 2 points now that don't hold as much weight as it did back then when I made that video. Today, you could go in there and say you want a sub. You say you want a GMT because those are the pieces that you love. You love those sports models. You don't like the date just. You don't like the date. It's too dressy for you. Yeah, you could do that one today. Yeah, that point doesn't apply anymore. The next point, don't presume that you're going to walk in and then walk out with a timepiece. Number 5, don't act like you're going to walk in there and walk out with a piece. As a piece, I mean a watch. I would say 95%, maybe more. If you're a new Rolex watch buyer where you're looking to buy your first piece at the AD, and you think you're gonna walk into this AD and walk out with the watch that you want, you're dreaming. Like, seriously. Of course, guys, based on my last 2 points, you guys know that this doesn't hold the same amount of weight that it did back then. You could for sure walk into an AD today and walk out with a timepiece. The next point, don't record, don't take pictures. Number 6, do not record, do not take pictures.
I kind of want to take a picture of that myself. No, that's, oh, no, that ain't come out right.
Disqualified.
This is a point that I would say still holds the same amount of weight. I think it's just common courtesy, especially in high-end luxury stores, to just not record and don't take pictures. You're just going to get kicked out. It doesn't even have to be Rolex. It could be Gucci, any luxury store. They really don't want customers or potential customers walking in there recording and taking pictures. I think it's for security reasons, safety reasons. Yeah, just don't do it. Still holds the same amount of weight as it did back then. And my last point in that video was to not go into a Rolex AD or a Rolex boutique and speak with the same slang and lingo that you will at a gray market dealer. Do not walk in there and speak the same way you would at a gray market dealer or a secondary market dealer, like let's say CRM Jewelers. So for example, if you go into CRM Jewelers and you speak to Carlos and the family, you'll bring up some topics along the lines in the watch line of topics that wouldn't cut it in an AD. Especially with one of the points as far as saying that, hey, yeah, I sold this watch and I made this much, so now I want to get this. Things like that probably wouldn't fly in an AD. So save that for the gray market dealers, for private sales and purchases, but definitely not for the AD, not for the boutiques. Don't do it. That one definitely still applies and holds the same amount of weight. So guys, as you guys see, it's about 50-50 now. Back then, Rolex was playing style on everybody. You walk in there, you're probably not gonna get a timepiece. But now they're desperate, or at least the last time I saw when they called me, they were desperate. They were pretty much, I would say, at the bottom of the list. Because if I got a call 5 years later, guys, they were at the bottom of the list. They were desperate. The guys at the top, they pretty much declined, probably, who knows. They declined, and then, hey, they were like, yeah, let's go get the Clydes of the world and see if they'll pick up these watches. It was a Samaritan, it was a nice piece, but definitely wasn't the right time and situation for me to pull the trigger on the timepiece at the time they called me. So guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you've had any interactions or experiences with the ADs recently in the past few months. Let me know if you guys had received the piece that you wanted, if you're still waiting. Comment down below and let me know. Guys, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next video.